My name is Sarina. I think I know most of you. And I'll be guiding your practice. As always, it's your time on your mat. Please give yourself permission to take what you need and modify. This is a yin practice, so we move rather slowly and then we hold our poses for a little bit longer. Sometimes I do like to add in some movement. It's just kind of like a blend, a unique blend of movement and stillness, some breath work woven in as well. And I would like for us to start today in a child's pose. If you have music, feel free to press play, get that started. And then starting in a child's pose, you can either have your knees together or apart. If you choose to keep the knees together, hips to your heels, forehead to the mat, and then palms come long against your body with the palms face up. If knees are wide, forehead to the mat and arms reach up over the head. And then just take a moment to kind of wiggle out through your hips and maybe rock your head a little side to side. And then just take this first moment on your mat to really settle and to fully arrive onto your space. We spend a lot of our life, a lot of our day, kind of moving from place to place and rushing from point A to point B. And so I just invite you to take this time on your mat to be present, to not worry so much about what's next, what pose is next, but rather just being in the pose that you're in. Noticing how the poses make you feel, both physically and mentally or emotionally. Welcome a deep breath in through your nose. Follow the breath into your belly. And let a sigh out of your mouth. Maybe even a little bit of a moan or a groan with the breath. Breathing in through the nose. And exhaling out of your mouth. Breathing in. And breathing out. Take your time. Know that there's no rush. And start to find your way up into a tabletop position. Guiding your knees directly under your hips and then your palms underneath your shoulders. Neutral back, neutral spine, and toes stay untucked. And I'd like to flow through a few rounds of cow and cat pose. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze and your tailbone. And exhale, round through your back, pull your chin and your tailbone under. Hollow out the belly space. Inhale, cow pose, belly drops, lift your gaze and your tailbone. Exhale, round through your back, hollow out the belly. Your breath, inhale the belly low. Exhale to round. And take a few rounds of this movement on your own, welcoming in any additional movement you might be craving. And then also giving yourself permission to linger anywhere that feels good. If you want to hold a cow or a cat. Really just starting to tap and tune into how your body feels this evening. Just keeping in mind that your practice might look a little different than mine or someone else's, and that's okay. Our bodies are different. We feel different sensations. Okay, complete the round that you're on and come back to a neutral spine, your tabletop. Okay, from here, extend your right leg straight back behind you. Keep your toes on the mat. Press your heel towards the back of your mat, creating a nice calf stretch. And then hold that. Press the heel away. Full breath in. Full breath out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And continue to hold the pose. Keep breathing. You notice the sensations that come up and sit with them. Right? Let them be there. Gently bring your right knee back to the mat into your tabletop. Hips to your heels, take a little tiny child's pose, forehead to the mat, and then take a moment to roll out your wrists, maybe wiggle out your fingers. Sometimes it feels good to bring the backs of your palms together. Find your way back into your child's pose for the other side. Excuse me, to your tabletop. And then from here, extend the left leg straight back behind you. Toes press into the mat, reach your heel back, and pause there. Okay, full breath in. Full breath out. And then try to hold it. Okay, uncomfortable is okay. If there's any pain or pinching sensation, give yourself permission to exit always. Breathe. Notice any sensation that you're feeling, whether it's through the calf or the thigh, maybe elsewhere. And stay connected to the sensation. Breathe with it, not away from it. Okay, gently bring your left knee back to the mat into your tabletop. Maybe a little sway of your hips, and then find your baby little child's pose, hips to the heels. Give yourself a moment to roll out your wrists or wiggle your fingers. As you're ready, find your way back into your tabletop position. Okay, from here, extend the right leg back behind you once again. Toes press into the mat, heel away. Now this time, kickstand your left foot off to the side, and then roll onto your left hand, spin to the inside of your right foot, and reach your right hand high, opening up through the chest. And then with that top arm, wiggle out your fingers. Make some circles with the wrist. And then begin to find some circles with the shoulder. They may start really small and gradually get a little bit bigger. You want to find some sweeping motions. And just checking in with where it feels best for you, remembering that it might look different than me. If it feels okay, reach that top hand over the head, almost like you're creating a rainbow shape with your body. Maybe let the head get a little bit heavy here. Creating length down and across the side body. Gently reach your hands back up over your head. Bring the right hand back to the mat, find your center. Bring both knees to the mat, tabletop. Find your little child's pose, hips to your heels. Roll out that left wrist, give it a little bit of a break, check in. So every time we come to child's pose, it's kind of that transition place. And it's just an opportunity to drop back to center. You need to breathe with yourself. To notice how you feel. Switching sides, find your way back up into your tabletop. From here, leg extends back. Keep your toes on the mat. Kickstand your right leg off to the side. Roll onto the right hand. Spin to the inside of your left foot to reach your left hand high. And then from here, you can just welcome in some movement to the fingers, maybe little rolls of the wrist. And then if you'd like, you can start to add some more circular motions to the arm, sweeping it forward and back, and maybe connecting that movement to the pace of your breath. And again, keeping in mind that your practice might look different than mine. Okay, top hand reaches over the head if it feels comfortable. Almost like you're creating this rainbow shape with your body. Press the hips up toward the ceiling. Let your head get a little bit heavy. Full breaths down the side. Good. Gently find your way back through center. Left hand to the mat, left knee to the mat, tabletop. And take your little baby child's pose. Roll out those wrists, wiggle out the fingers. Recenter, wiggle it out. And then from here, walk your way back up into your tabletop. We're going to come into our lizard lunge or our lizard pose next. So right leg extends back behind you. From here, lift your toes off of the mat. Step your left foot forward to the top of your mat. Whatever's easier, you can step it between your palms or to the outside of your right hand. Feel free to help it out. And then what you're going to end up doing is bringing both palms to the inside of your front foot. Toe heel that front foot off toward the edge of your mat. So you're creating a little bit of a wider stance. Hips shift forward. Okay, leaning your hips forward so you're creating length and space down your back thigh. From here, you're welcome to roll over to the pinky side edge of your front foot. Okay. And I like to welcome in movement here. So you might want to rock that foot a little bit. Sometimes it feels good to shift it back and forth. You might even crave full circles with that front knee. So welcome in movement where the body craves it, and then allow yourself to find stillness. You're welcome to stay tall arms. You can also lower down onto your forearms. Personally, forearms is a little too intense for me, so I won't demo that. Find the version that you're comfortable lingering in. And then take a deep inhale. Imagine that you're breathing down the left thigh. Exhale out, nose or mouth, release the breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, follow the breath down your back thigh, long inhalation. Exhale out. And as you hold the pose, notice the sensations that change. If you seldomly spend time opening up the hips, you might feel a lot of heat here. Okay, that's a release of energy, physical, and sometimes even emotional energy that we hold on to in the hips. Stay with the breath. If you're lowered down onto your forearms, very gently rise back, come to tall arms. Take your time, let yourself adjust. From here, begin to toe heel that foot back toward the center of your mat. Gently shift some weight back into your back leg. Okay. We're taking this into a half split next, staying with that front leg. Hips shift back, straighten into your front leg only as much as comfortable. You want to keep a little bit of a bend in the front knee here. You're welcome to play around with flexing your toes up toward the ceiling. Sometimes it even feels good to let the toes fall a little side to side. So always just being open to exploring movement. If you're craving more intensity, you can tuck your back toes and inch your knee toward the back of your mat, lengthening the stance. Try leaning your chest toward your knee. And maybe finding a little bit of surrender in your head if you'd like to let your head drop down toward the leg. Allow your inhale to be really deep and intentional. And exhale out the nose or the mouth. If you extended your stance, you may have to tuck your back toes and into your back knee forward a little bit, enough to bend into the front knee. Okay, sweep it back into your tabletop. And then give yourself some space here. So if you want to sway your hips or take a few rounds of cow and cat, maybe that child's pose if your wrists need a little bit of a break. You have about a minute to let yourself kind of transition. So just wiggling out. Maybe you're craving a seated position instead of a child's pose, and that's okay too. Okay, but this transition place is just as important as the poses themselves. They let the poses settle and they let your body absorb the pose. When you're ready, we will move on to the left leg. Begin by extending your left leg back behind you. From here, float your toes off the mat. Step your left foot forward, either to the inside of your palms or the outside of your left palm. Feel free to help it out. And then wherever the foot is, you're going to bring the hands inside of the front foot. Toe heel your front foot off toward the edge of your mat, creating that wider stance, opening up the hip there. Start to welcome the hips forward so you're creating length down the back thigh. This creates a stretch for the psoas muscle. And then start by welcoming in movement. Okay, you can roll off to the pinky side edge of your foot. Just check in with how it feels. You may rock it back and forth slightly. You may even find some circles with the knee or the hip. Moving that energy around a little bit and finding a place that you would like to linger. You can stay on tall arms. You're also welcome to lower down onto your forearms. Lowering onto the forearms can sometimes be a little too intense, so you may come back to your tall arms, and that's okay. Drag the breath down your back thigh, intentionally inhale, and really press out your exhale. Don't be afraid to make a little sighing noise or even a little moan with the breath. It can sometimes feel really good to press out that exhale. Continue to follow the breath in and through your body. If you are lowered down onto your forearms, gently rise back, come to tall arms. And then gently start to bring the weight back onto your back leg and toe heel your front foot toward the center of your mat. Setting up for your half split with this leg. As you're ready, hips sink back towards your heels. Keep a slight little bend in the front knee. And if you're craving a little more space, you can tuck the back toes and inch your knee to the back of your mat. And reach your chest toward the thigh, and your head may drop down if you feel comfortable softening through the neck. Breathing in and breathing out. If you walked the back knee toward the back of your mat, you may want to tuck your back toes. Inch the knee forward as you find that bend in your front knee. Tabletop, sweep yourself back and give yourself that space to wiggle. Any neutral pose or space you want to be in, child's pose or a seat. Listening to what your body needs, knowing that you know your body best. Good. When you feel ready, I invite you to find a seated position on your mat. Take your time to get there. Okay, we're going to be finding cow face arms. So I'm going to turn around so my back is going to be facing you. Okay. Come into a comfortable seat and start by sitting up nice and tall. Grounding down through your sit bones, you might want to remove the fleshy parts from underneath. And then just really grounding down through the sit bones, pressing actively. Okay, from here, bring your palms kind of just on your lap or on the knees. And I just want us to find some shoulder rolls. Okay, rolling the shoulders forward, up and back. You take that a few times, a few big rolls of the shoulders. And then reverse the way that you're making your rolls. So if you started rolling them backwards, roll them forward. It might feel a little awkward at first, that's okay. Just kind of warming them up a little. And then relax through your shoulders, keep the spine tall. So start by bringing your left hand behind you, palm facing out. Okay, another option that you can do here is hold on to your shirt. And then from here, your right hand is going to reach behind you. And again, you can hold on to your shirt. You may also be able to interlace your fingers. Okay, so wherever you are, whether you're holding onto fingers or holding onto your shirt, try to invite your shoulder blades back by inviting the elbows back. So you're staying open through your chest. Okay, continue to ground down through the sit bones, gaze is forward. Shoulder blades back, elbows back. Keep the core slightly active to protect your low back here. Keep your core active. If you would like, you may start to lean yourself forward. Okay, elbows and shoulders stay back, core stays strong. Breathe. Whatever you are holding on to, gently let it go and get soft through your arms. Let them stay really heavy next to your body. You might even soften through your spine if you want to round up through the spine a little bit. Welcome in movement if you're craving it. We're going to reverse that. Start by sitting up tall, grounding down through your sit bones. And then welcome in movement in through your shoulders. Roll out your shoulders. And then as you feel ready, bring your right hand back behind you. So the back of your palm is either on your back or you can hold on to your shirt. And this side might feel really different than the other, so please be aware of that. And then your left hand comes over the body, palm either grabbing onto the shirt or you can inch your fingertips toward one another. That feels really intense to me, so I'm going to hold on to my shirt. Roll your shoulder blades and your elbows back. Open up through your chest and keep your core active to protect your low back from overarching. So belly button to spine. Stay connected to that sensation. Keep opening up through the chest. Gaze is forward. Full breaths into your chest. Whatever you're holding on to, gently let that go. Let your arms rest really heavy next to your body. You might even round through your spine a little bit and welcome movement where you crave it. Come back through center, neutralize through the spine. And we're just going to do a little bit more with the shoulders. So I just want you to extend your right arm out in front of you and then reach it over across your body. Grab your forearm with your left hand. And rather than trying to pull your arm towards you, just bring your arm toward you and then hold it in place. So I don't want you to pull your arm. I just want you to hold it in place. Stay tall. Okay, we're just going to switch that. Release the right arm, left arm across the body. No need to pull it anywhere. Simply invite it across the chest and hold it. And just checking in with how it feels for you to be in this pose where you feel sensation. Good. You can release your left hand down. Let your arms get heavy, soft through the shoulder blades. Stay tall with your spine. Good. From here, I'd like for us to come onto our back. So find your way to your back. Once you're there, keep your knees bent so that your feet stay planted on the floor. Arms reach out, maybe a little bit wider than your mat. And allow your weight to spread onto the floor. Notice what it feels like to let go of a little bit of effort and to be held. And we're going to move into supine pigeon pose. Keeping your feet planted, begin to cross your left ankle over the right thigh or knee. So you're making a figure 4 with your legs. Pause and hold it here. Now flex through your left foot, toes up to the ceiling, and notice what it feels like to press your knee away from you. Okay, now grab onto the back of your right thigh, if it feels okay. And then as you inhale, keep that foot flexed, keep pressing the knee away. As you inhale, gently pull your legs a little bit closer to you. And as you exhale, extend the legs a little bit farther. Inhale, bring the legs a little bit closer. Exhale, extend them away. Inhale, bring them closer. Exhale, extend them away. And inhale, bring them closer. And if it feels okay, I invite you to hold that. Holding on to the back of your thigh, knees close to the chest. Keep that flex through your left foot. Notice what sensations you feel. And welcome your breath into that left side of your body. Again, if you have that urge to sigh any breath out, please welcome that. Gently release the right thigh. If you have it, bring your right foot back to the mat and pause. Keep that figure 4. Okay, let your hips resettle, soften through your foot and your knee. Gently uncross the figure 4. Left foot comes back to the mat. Give yourself space. You may want to windshield wiper your legs or extend the legs long. You can also hug your knees to your chest. Okay, and then when you're ready, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, making that figure 4. Pause here. Flex through your right foot and press the knee away from you and hold that sensation, hold that activation with the leg. So you're going to try to keep that activation as you hold on to the back of your left thigh. Arms are straight and long. With an inhale, bend into the elbows, bring the legs a little bit closer. Exhale, extend, bring the legs away. Inhale, bring the legs a little bit closer. And exhale, extend them away. Inhale, bring them closer. Exhale, extend them away. This time as you inhale, hold the legs close if it feels okay for you. You can let this go at any time. But hold the pose, hold the sensation, and let your breath flow. Sit with what you're feeling, welcome it in. Know that it will change and evolve. And if you're still holding on to the back of your left thigh, gently release that, keeping the figure 4 shape. Left foot to the mat, and release effort. Let your hips soften, let the knee and the foot soften. And when you're ready, unwrap the figure 4, both feet to the mat. Welcome in movement. If you're craving it, windshield wiper, knees to chest, extend the legs. And from here, bring your right knee into your chest, give it a hug, hold the knee close to your chest. You can keep your left foot on the mat, or you can extend your left foot long. And then welcome in some swaying of the leg, a little bit side to side. And bring this into your half happy baby pose, either grabbing onto the bottom of your right foot or the back of your right thigh. I prefer to bring my left arm out like a wing. You can also take your left palm over your hip or the rib to reground yourself. Good, full breath in. Full breath out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. If holding on to the bottom of your foot becomes too intense, know that you can switch to the back of your thigh at any point. You can also bend back into your left knee at any point. Gently deepen the breath. Take your time to gently release the right foot or thigh. And either extend the leg long with the left or bring your right foot to the mat. You have a moment of neutral space, whether you want some movement or stillness. Bend into both of your feet or both of your knees. Plant both of your feet. From here, hug your left knee into your chest and pause there. If you'd like, you can extend your right leg long on your mat. And bring some movement into the leg. Rock it a little side to side. Hug it closer. Roll out your ankle. Just checking in with how the left leg is feeling. And then once you're ready, come into that half happy baby pose. You can either hold on to the bottom of your left foot or the back of your left thigh. Right hand can reach out like a wing or come anywhere over the body. Slow, steady breaths to start, and then gently let your breath fall to a natural rhythm. And the intensity may linger, and that's okay. But know that if there's ever any pain, that you're welcome to exit the pose. And gently deepen your breath. When you feel ready, you can release either the bottom of your foot or the back of your thigh. Excuse me. Either extending your legs long or planting both feet to the mat. Giving yourself a moment to sway your hips or hug the knees to your chest. Just some neutral space. And gentle supine twists. Bring your arms out like wings or a capital T. You can also keep your elbows bent like goalposts. Bring your knees in towards your chest and let your knees fall over to the right. Please gaze any direction that's comfortable on your spine. And then really just start to let go of your effort, let go of your weight. Let the floor hold you. Connect to that sensation of being held. And just know that this is a safe place to surrender, to let go of anything you no longer need. And gently guide your head back through center. And then bring your knees through center. Take 2 rounds of neutral breath, neutral spine. Again, that transition between poses is just as important as the pose itself. Arms come out like wings or goalposts, and knees are going to drop the opposite direction. Gaze either direction that's most comfortable on your neck. Notice what you can soften here. Can you relax your forehead? Can you unclench your jaw? Can you trust the support of the ground of the earth? Simply let yourself be without effort. Take your time, gently invite your head back through center. And then your knees, neutral space. And I just invite you to find any final movement, any final pose, anything you might be craving before you find your Shavasana. And I'll give you about a minute to do so. So if you're choosing a side-to-side type of posture, I'll tell you about halfway through so that you know to switch. And maybe you're ready for Shavasana. Feel free to find your way there. Use any props if you want to cover up with a blanket. If you're finding movement, you're about halfway through. And if you haven't already, start to transition to your final resting pose. Allow yourself to be a little bit wider than your mat. Take up space. If it feels safe, I invite you to close your eyes. And simply let yourself be without any effort. Know that you, just as you are, without effort, are more than enough. More than worthy. And I will wake you when it is time. Please know that you're welcome to stay in Shavasana if you'd like. Otherwise, begin to deepen your breath, just bringing some awareness back to your physical body. And gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And maybe even rock your head a little side to side or sweep your tongue over your teeth. Take your time, there's no hurry. Roll over to either side of your mat, resting your head on the inside of your arm. And pause here for a moment of gratitude. First, thanking yourself for making it to your mat today. And thanking your body for its strength and ability to not only move you through your practice, but to move you through your life. And then gently press yourself up into a seated position. And as you arrive, guide your hands to your heart center. And in honor of ourselves and of each other, bowing forward, namaste. Thank you, yogis. Have a lovely rest of your evening.